Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's pre-orders, and they are live. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. You guys know what time it is. It is Saturday, and pre-orders are live. And jumping right off, you might be able to tell by the excitement in my voice, we have all of the MTO terrain, the made-to-order terrain. So we're going to have from today until next Monday. That is the 2nd of October for a 9-day made-to-order period. And any of these terrain pieces ordered during that time going to take roughly up to 180 days to dispatch. So about 6 months. So that's all the important details about them. Now let's talk about the price on these. So a lot of this stuff has been discontinued for quite some time, most of it for at least a couple of years. And as it was kind of rotating out of the stock, Games Workshop really wasn't making it, so it was becoming harder and harder to find. And naturally, that was driving up the prices. So for these first 3 sets right here, it was not crazy to see them selling from anywhere from $50 to $100. But if you wanted any of these in good condition, still in the packaging, unpainted, unclipped, more likely you were going to pay about $100 for them. So this is about 50% of the open market prices. And in all reality, these are like the prices Games Workshop was charging for this stuff when it went out of the store. And it's right in line with the stuff that they sell now. Honestly, some of it is on the cheaper side. So let's talk a little bit about each one. So first we have the Aegis defense line. This thing is a lot bigger than it looks. Each of these is like a few inches tall. You can obviously see a guy would be able to like shoot through the slit. And then it does come with the cool little quad cannon on its separate base. These can be positioned however you want. So just for a relative comparison, this set is $50. And then the new Aegis defense line is sold for the Astra Militarum. In my opinion, the new one is way cooler. It doesn't come with like the little quad gun, and it's a little bit of a different style from these, but it's actually like really close to the Imperial Martyrs Imperial Defense Line pieces. So if we just pop over here real quick, this is the new version of the Aegis Defense Line, and this is an actual terrain piece faction set that like Astra Militarum could take, or you could just use it as terrain on the battlefield without like the special rules. But you can see this is a little bit similar in like the style as it's like the barricades. It comes with a couple of like platform pieces. There's some cool little breaks in it and everything like that. Does not come with like your quad cannon or anything like that, but definitely looks substantially cooler, like detail wise. And then when we jump back over here, we'll see it actually has like some similarities with the Wall of Martyrs Imperial Defense Line. So it's sort of like they combine these two into one terrain piece. So Aegis Defense Line, cool. I already have some of this stuff. Wall of Martyrs Imperial Defense Line. So this stuff is pretty cool also. When you have this stuff in your hands, you'll notice a little more clearly, there's these little nubs on the side here. So there's like one cutout of the nub on the left side and then one nub sticking out on the right side. And then same thing here, the cutout here and the nub right there. So this stuff doesn't necessarily like clip into place, but it definitely has like a negative and positive connector piece that line up and make sure it's like sitting how it should be. So, I mean, it's not going to stay together as good as magnets would, but it's enough to keep it assembled and where it should be while you're playing your games and everything. And this stuff is pretty cool. I have mentioned before that all of the Aegis Defense Line stuff, all of this terrain that they're bringing back, the scale is definitely off slightly on this stuff. You will notice there are like dead Imperial Guard, Astra Militarum troopers here and everything, and they definitely look derpy, and they're also like the old style and like size Astra Militarum. So everything is a little smaller compared to like the new upscaled size stuff. But this terrain is awesome. It is sort of like the foundation of this set, as the bunker and all the different stuff kind of like have that same clipping system here. Now I call it a clipping system, but it's not going to like clip together and stay together if you start like touching it or moving it or anything like that. It's literally just to keep everything aligned when it's on the table. And then you have these little end caps here as well that can like fill off the end and like stop the trench. Or you can use them as like random little barricades on the table. So very cool, very good terrain stuff right here. And then this piece is a little bit more unique. The Wall of Martyrs Imperial Defense Emplacement. These are just the connectors in between those. So if you wanted like 2 of those pieces to just go in a row, you would just connect your 2 trench pieces together. But if you wanted to have like a turn or something like that, these are going to let you put 1 trench in the back and then have them tee off. And then this one is going to let you put 1 trench in at like a 45-degree angle. And then the other trench is going to come out at a 45-degree angle. And then obviously they have the larger holes for like a gun emplacement or something like that. Heavy weapons team, etc. So very cool, very modular. If you're into this type of stuff, I'm a huge fan of these. And because it was so hard to get for so long, was pretty much impossible to build like a super cool table. But now that this is being offered on an MTO limited time basis, you can pick up exactly what you need or just buy some stuff. And that's what I plan on doing. So $50 for the Aegis defense line, not bad. $60 for the Imperial defense line, regular Wall of Martyrs, right in line with what I was expecting, around $60, and then $50 for the little like connectors / like angle pieces. And then next we have the Imperial Bunker. So $50 for this thing, and this is going to be the piece that you notice right off the bat how much different the scale is, because this thing is tiny. You can't really tell from the pictures like the scale wise or anything, and it does have like some bodies and some skulls and stuff. So it kind of gives you like a little bit of reference point. But I'm going to tell you right now, when you put this next to like a Primaris Space Marine or a new Guardsman, the scale definitely looks off. Now it's still cool, but you should just full on know that so there's no surprises. I obviously know it, not that big of a deal for me, still a big fan of this terrain. So this little bunker right here, super cool. It is $50, it's only one sprue, there's not a lot to it, but again, this is what I guess for the price. And most of the stuff, I'm just happy to see it coming back, not at a massive premium. Because we know Games Workshop has that pricing power, at least to some degree, and typically they abuse it. So does this mean that their pricing power is running out? Does this mean that they are showing a little appreciation to the community? I'm not sure, honestly, but definitely glad to see this stuff coming back. And we will notice also, you can't really tell from these pictures, but there are some doors on the side of the bunker right here. They're like closed in and everything, as is the back. But again, it's going to have those little sets for the trenches. So there's like a little place for the nub to go in here, and then you can line that up, and the trenches will like lead straight into the bunker. Very cool, very modular. Definitely a fan of this stuff. So now we're on to my two favorite pieces and ones that I will definitely be picking up. So first we have the Imperial Bastion. We'll notice that once again, it comes with a gun on top. This one's that big boy las cannon. There is like a little emplacement base on it and everything. It can be placed on the side, behind like a defense line, anywhere else, fully modular. And then also this thing is assembled in like multiple layers. So once again, we see basically that door right here where the trench system can like line up to it. There's a little cutaway piece. If you cut away that little piece right here, the trenches will line up perfectly and lead straight to the door. The 4 heavy bolters all like pivot and everything. Pretty cool. And you can see that the style of the actual bastion itself looks a lot like the old school Aegis defense line that they have brought back as well. So we'll see like a lot of the similarities in style, look, shape, size on the top part of the bastion here. So this bastion can be assembled in obviously the way it is right here, one big piece, which is awesome because it gives you like a large line of sight blocking, tall piece that you could basically put like an Imperial Knight behind, which is part of the issue with Games Workshop's terrain is, and the towering keyword, they don't really sell big stuff like this. So that's why this is so awesome. And then part of the modularity for how you build this is you can actually like leave off the middle section and just have like a little shorter bunker. You can do all kinds of different stuff, like add a second middle section from another bunker and make it twice as tall. There's a bunch of different ways you can make this modular, keep it modular for painting. And honestly, this is a really, really nice piece. I already have one of these, but I do plan on picking up more. At least one, maybe a couple, I'm not sure. We'll have to see. But very, very nice piece right here. One of the best pieces of terrain Games Workshop has ever made. And at $65 is an absolute steal. These things were going for over $100 all day, every day online. So to see this thing at $65 brand new from Games Workshop, honestly, I wish I could give them a high five right now because I'm loving it. All right, and then next we got the Skyshield Landing Pad. So $65 for this bad boy as well. Honestly, with this and the Bastion, I was just really hoping that they would be under $100 because I want to pick up at least one of each, probably a couple. So the fact that Games Workshop has priced this thing at $65 is absolutely awesome. So this thing is roughly like 4 or 5 inches tall. So it is elevated a bit off the table. It has like 4 of these like base pieces right here. And then you have your main actual like landing pad part. And then again, we have those like Aegis defense line style like barricades, and these are actually on like a little hinge, so these can fold up at like a 90-degree angle, so it creates like a little bit of a protective railing or like an elevated defense line style. So again, another really cool piece of terrain. So very, very cool. Definitely a big fan of the Skyshield Landing Pad, and essentially for like 50% of what they were going for on the secondary market. Yes please, I'll take 2. So very, very cool. Very happy to see that terrain come back. If you are excited about this stuff and you're planning on picking it up, you have 1 week and 2 days. So 9 total days until the 2nd of October. or next Monday to get your orders in for this stuff before it is presumably gone forever, or at least a couple more years. So very, very cool, and got to give Games Workshop the big high five, because even though this stuff is expensive, they really didn't raise the prices on it compared to what it used to be, and this stuff hasn't been offered for years. In the meantime, the rest of their catalog has gone up substantially, so this stuff to me looks real cheap right now relative. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch, and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now, back to the video. All right, and then moving right along, we've got the hero bases and the Imperial large base detail kit. So you see what you get right here. There's basically just some special custom hero bases, some cool stuff going on, like a couple of like pedestals. You can stand on top of like an old Le Mans Russ turret. There's like a little bomb and some barrels. Pretty cool. $40 for them. I mean, if you want to base your heroes and you don't particularly like basing, these are decent like display bases ready to go for $40. And then for the basing kit, this is just literally a bunch of like two-dimensional like little scrap pieces that you can add onto your bases. This one is made more for like the larger stuff. So typically you'll see these big pieces are going to be like what you would put on like a knight's base. And then some of the smaller pieces are like what you might see on like infantry base or something like that. All right, and then next we have the return of the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring Battle in Balin's Tomb. So $80 for that. That is basically a standalone game. Comes with a bunch of minis, everything you need to play if you want to reenact that battle. All right, and then next we've got the Cerastus Knight Castigator. So very cool. This is the special sprue that's going to come with this set. So we've seen 3 of the Cerastus Knights so far released. The first was the Lancer, and then these 2, and each one has its own unique weapon sprue. So this one has the sword and the Mega Bolter. And then it's also going to come with this crazy new setup right here. This is basically like the 2-piece ammo feed for this. So interesting decision by Games Workshop to just go all in on the flexible ammo feed. You can't really see it that well, but it comes down from the gun and then hooks onto like the back piece right there. But you're able to build it in a way that it has like a bunch of different flex points, and like the knight can be posed however you want. A cool idea, but a bunch of unnecessary pieces that essentially just overcomplicate this kit, in my opinion. And then we have the Cerastus Knight Acheron. So again, same type thing. We have that crazy like flexible ammo feed right there. This guy's got the big boy flamer and chain sword. And if we just go over here, that is our custom sprue, the special one that's going to come in this set. So we see the big boy flamer, and then of course the chain weapon. And then once again, we're going to see that crazy ammo feed sprue. So I'm holding off on these 2 for now. I don't really need them. I got the Lancer. That's the one that I was after. And then later on down the line, I do expect, now this could be years from now, Games Workshop to eventually release one big kit that encompasses all 3 of these, because it really is the same chassis, and the only difference is that weapon sprue. So we have 3 different weapon sprues, and then also like the ammo feed sprue as well. So I suspect it's just a matter of time before they all come as one set. But I mean, who knows what the Knight's going to cost then. They're already coming in at $200. So once it's like the full kit and everything like that, it's probably going to be like $225 or $250. But you will be able to magnetize all those options, which is very cool and how it should be from the start. All right, and then we've got our Vampire Blood Bowl team, the Drakfang Thirsters. So $50 for those bad boys. Very cool. You do get like duplicates of each model, but they all have multi-pose builds, so no 2 need to look the same. So for you Blood Bowl players out there, very, very cool. And what would a Vampire Blood Bowl team be without all of the accessories? So we have the Blood Bowl Vampire Team Card Pack, $33.50. The Vampire Team Dugout, double-sided pitch. This is very cool. Definitely like the colors on this. It definitely stands out. $55 for those. And then we have the Blood Bowl Vampire Team Dice Set, $20.50 for those. Again, very, very cool. I definitely like the vampire pip on the dice and the overall color of them. Nice looking dice there. And then we have Blood Bowl Spike Journal, $15 for that. That's going to have all your rules and everything. And then there is a EPUB version as well. So then moving right along, we have Ciaphas Cain for the Emperor Special Edition. So $75 for this. Very, very cool. I love the weathered look. I love the propaganda-esque look to it. And then we see here some of the like special edition stuff. This is going to be signed and numbered by the author. 2,000 total copies available. We see just how awesome the skulls are on the side there. The ribbon bookmark, the weathering. Just really, really nice set right here. Definitely a big fan of Games Workshop's quality products. And then we just got some leftovers from the last week. Celestial Spear, hardcover. We've got all of the new Ironjawz models as well. We've got the Rabble Rouser individually. We've got the Dawnbringer Book 2, Reign of the Brute, the Ragers, the Rekkas, the Ardboys, the Big Pig. I know a lot of people had talked about how quickly the Big Pig sold out, but he is back in stock in the United States. So I would imagine they were just trying to make sure they filled all the orders initially, and then they kind of recounted everything and then put the stock back up. So they are still available, and those are permanent additions to the range as well. And then we have the Vanguard Orruks War Clans right there. Just pick up Dominion and buy a Beastskua Killbow instead. And then, of course, we have the Dawnbringer Gloomspike Kits Trug's Great Trog Herd. So I can't wait for this to arrive. I'm definitely super excited about it. I've got a bunch of Trogs that are ready to get airbrushed right alongside the big boy Trug. And then the Dawnbringer Book 2 Reign of the Brute Limited Edition is sold out as expected. So very, very cool. Very big week. Definitely excited most for the MTO stuff. I am 100% going to be picking up at least one Bastion and probably 2 landing pads. May pick up some of this other stuff as well. Super excited. Obviously, this is a very limited opportunity. You got 9 days essentially to get after some stuff that hasn't been available for years and likely won't be available again for years. So again, if you are after this stuff, it is a very limited window. I wish Games Workshop would have given us more of a heads up so people could kind of like move around some hobby dollars, because I do suspect a lot of people like me will want to pick up a bunch of this stuff. And it would have been nice to have a little more of a heads up. So let me know what you're excited for. What are you going to be picking up this week? Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. As always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Check them out to save 15% on Games Workshop. Link in the description. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I can't wait to build a giant board with all of this terrain. And I'm out of here.